I'll kick us off, Matt.
Sure. So I
One
got
to
a
my
question
left.
on Instagram. Oh, yeah. It was pretty straightforward. What do you like, and then what do you dislike about coaching clients in general? Maybe like pick one or two things on each side.
Yeah. You want to
Um,
answer first?
yeah, sure. What do I like? Well, it's still relatively new, so I like a lot of it right now. Um, I just like being able to help people. That's why I got into fitness in the first place. I think they meant online coaching. I'm gonna go with that. So Um, one thing I like about the online coaching is just I guess the direct, getting a plan to somebody directly as opposed to in person and like, you know, meeting them every week and not knowing what they're doing on their own. You could kind of connect directly, whether you're on an app or WhatsApp, and deliver a plan, you know, pretty straightforward. I'm just enjoying that, like the directness, I guess, that we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, And then dislike, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had anything too crazy yet. I guess typical things like when we talked about this in the past too, when clients, either complain about work hours or, ask too many questions about changing things. I haven't had much in that I dislike yet. You guys probably have a ton,
Yeah.
and again, I haven't worked with enough competitors yet to really get into that yet. So I'm sure you have more the competitive part.
Who's taking this one first?
I'll be positive and start with the stuff I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my helping people. It's dope when you have somebody who's so committed to a goal. And then you put them on stage and they either, win their class, win the overall, just bring their best look ever by far. And a lot of the stuff that like we get from our clients, like feedback wise, is oftentimes our clients come to us from these shitty coaches that'll be dieting them into oblivion and not giving refeeds and doing crazy amounts of hit cardio. So all this crazy shit, right? When they come in subpar condition, they have a complete and utter terrible reverse and into like a shitty off season, right? So when we get those athletes and they go through a proper off season, usually it's like a recomp phase, then a growth phase, and then prep phase, right? That's kind of like optimal for the before the first time we get somebody on stage, if not multiple cycles of that. But once they actually go through all that and go into prep, feedback I've gotten from multiple clients is that they've fallen back in love with bodybuilding since they've been doing it with me because they're actually doing it correctly. And that's just a really humbling feeling. And I guess saying on that sentiment, like I've had a couple of parents of like younger athletes that I work with telling me how much it's impacted them in a positive way, like not just physically, but mentally, it's got their head on straight, emotionally, it's helped them kind of level out. That's again a humbling feeling to have that impact on somebody just by being their coach. Now, on the flip side of that, some of the things I dislike is kind of the exact opposite of like positive impact is just like the negative shit you deal with managing relationships with people. Like it's inevitable. You're going to deal with all sorts of people that have temperament issues, just are narcissists. Like think the world revolves around them. And it's challenging when you have to deal with that. And oftentimes it can turn into like a good client at one point turns into like a monster. And oftentimes that there's a personal level to that. And you get disrespected, and it's that's definitely the worst part of coaching for me is just the relationship management for the bad ones.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I'll start with the positive. So obviously I kind of just piggybacking off what you guys said. It's more or less just helping somebody achieve obviously their goal, and especially when like the individual didn't think it was something that was possible, right? Obviously, whether it's stepping on stage, having like a sick transformation, losing weight, or becoming healthier. Um, and then the wor the worst part for me, I'll second pretty much exactly what you said, Matt, and then to add another layer onto kind of that too, it's like when people say they're so serious, right? You talk to them, and then it ends up you wanting their goal more than they do. It sucks. It's like so frustrating because we can provide them all the coaching support, right, and their plan and all the accountability, but like then they're checking in late, they're missing check-ins, they're not listening, then they're lying, and they're not listening. You know, that to me is one of the worst parts because it's like, 3 weeks ago you were like all gung ho, ready to go, and it's like as soon as that accountability factor and kind of the rubber hit the road, it's like you can't do it. And then when everybody, when people kind of just drop off after they were so serious and it's only been a month, that's very frustrating. Can
Agree.
everybody hear? Uh,
Can everyone hear?
I would assume so. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, we can hear each other.
Yeah.
Good question. What
That
else
was
you got,
good.
Matt?
What else you got, Matt?
We'll do the overrated, underrated. I guess we'll pick one in terms of PEDs. Pick one that you think's overrated, one that you think's underrated currently.
Hmm. Let's keep it to anabolics and not peptides because this is a
Yeah,
pretty
fuck
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
easy
get too
way to
crazy.
call
no,
peptides out.
no, we're men. We want to talk about real drugs.
Yeah, agreed.
um,
I'll say
underrated.
for overrated, this is just me personally, and I'm going to say this is for men. I think I like this one for women, but Primo. I think it's for men specifically, just because it's faked a lot. It's hard to
You,
find anyway.
you
It's
need so
crazy
much of it
expensive.
to like really
Yeah,
get
you got
big
to
with
take
it.
so much to get an effect. There's just so many better options, I think, and
I
it's
think that's
become so
fair.
popular. Like, I guess because it's perceived as safer, or less side effects, I guess. But I just think you
I
have
have
so many
it.
better options.
I have a better answer. I have a better answer. Anadrol. Definitely not
Yeah,
worth it.
I
It
was gonna
tanks
say
everybody's
D-ball.
appetite before. I mean,
Yeah.
did anybody really take D-ball anymore?
No, I
I
was
don't
gonna
think
say
so.
like orals just as a whole, like with
In
them. I
general.
think I think they're
But
overrated.
like,
Yeah.
I disagree because I can't say I agree entirely with orals because I think like Winstrol is extremely
No, no, I
effective.
meant I meant just Anadrol and D-ball together. I was gonna
Uh,
clip them two together.
yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody running D-ball these days. It's kind of
I don't
like
know
old
either.
school, but yeah, Anadrol tanks people's appetites before it gives you any benefit.
Yeah, blood pressure goes up. Yeah, I
Yeah, I know
mean,
some people make the argument like, oh, just take it before whatever your lagging body part is for more intensity. Like at that rate, I'd rather you just take Halo once a week, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Anadrol too, and then that's why I said like we just classify D-ball too, because like how many people you hear? I mean, D-ball is kind of like from that old school, obviously mentality, like you said, but everyone thinks like, oh, I'm gonna kickstart my cycle with them, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get so much stronger and all this shit, and like they end up putting 20 pounds on, and like I'm growing, 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 and you know, those are typically I feel like nowadays in the new age of bodybuilding, the ones that are like thinking they need to eat 8,000 calories to grow. You know what I mean? They just think more food and more weight on the scale equals more muscle.
If
But
you're set up, that's what you need though, unfortunately.
yeah, well, yeah, there's difference. Like if there's an actual need for that, 100%. But everybody's obviously needs are different. But like there's like 19-year-old kids out there buying D-ball from like the local fucking under the ground supplement shop, and they're like trying to gain 25 pounds in 12 weeks. And I think it's all muscle because their bench press went up 35 pounds.
And they're going to lose that, whatever they gain, they're going to
It's
probably
all
lose
going
it
to come
right away.
off,
So,
right?
yeah.
So,
But are people
um,
really still saying that? Is it still popular? That's why I don't know how
I've run
overrated
into
it
so many
is.
people. I've ran into so many people that are running Anadrol and they come out
Right?
to Fort Worth
oh,
with
it's
it. So
very,
like,
Okay.
yeah, very common, dude. Yeah, it's like that
yeah,
Kickstarter,
Yeah.
like
right?
pretty healthy doses as well. I've seen
Yeah, yeah, it ain't
50
no
is
Wow.
like
25.
average. I've seen
Yeah,
100. I've seen 100 multiple times.
we've
100
seen it.
on
We've seen more a few times too.
like in the off season?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, fucking
I
crazy.
guess I thought people were kind of past that.
No, I guess not, man.
I'm gonna go underrated. I'm gonna take a little different route here, and I'm gonna say testosterone.
That's what I was going to say.
Um,
Yeah, people are
I
so
think
afraid to push
Yeah.
test these days. They're
I
so
was gonna
fucking
say
afraid.
right. So I think it's so underrated from the fact that as long as like your blood pressure and everything's good and your hematocrit and all that shit, don't be scared to push the testos. I mean, I'd rather have somebody push the testos as long as all those other things are in good play, and in a good spot, rather than just adding in more fucking anabolics. You know what I mean? Like, would you rather have 500 test and 200 deca or a gram of test and no deca?
I grab a test,
Yeah,
100%.
I'll
That's what I
take the
mean,
test.
right? So like you said, man, I think people are scared to push the test dose, and they're like, I'm on 500. Like, why not push it to 600, 750, 900, as long as everything else is, of course, in check. But
I blame
I,
Jewett. I blame Jewett because he's popularized the low test, super
High
high
masteron stuff.
DHTs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like, look, that's cool and all works for him, but like, what did you do to get that big? You're probably
Right.
pushing
He didn't do
1,500
that.
tests.
it
Yeah, you're
wasn't
Yeah.
probably,
300 tests, tell you that much.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
His,
Yeah, there's got to be
John
context to everything.
John asks, what's the best draw? Um,
oh,
Super.
if I had to say one, super.
Super. In the right setting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I don't really see a purpose of running in an off season unless you just want to have some fun. But
Dude, I think it helped me out at Universe. I think like
it
that was a
definitely
well,
made
big,
a big difference for you.
yeah, I
I
think
yeah,
didn't
that
have to feed
really,
you nearly as hard as I have in the past
yeah,
with the super.
that worked big time.
Yeah, your midsection was nice and tight for the show. It was great.
yeah.
I agree with you guys on the underrated.
Yeah, I was gonna say test also. Just our body makes it. Why not roll with it? It's um, we need a healthy amount of it anyway.
Yeah, and you could take like
Um,
realistically, let's just be real. You could take a lot of fucking tests for a little while and have no issues.
yeah,
No, yeah. I
If you
mean,
if you're running a gram of test for a year, like yeah, your fucking lipids are going to be completely shot. Like,
hmm,
but
yep.
and then you have people that aromatize and get certain side effects, but other than that, I mean, usually people are okay.
Yeah, but I feel
yeah,
like
they have ancillaries for that.
Yeah,
if I was going to say
even
the
women
ancillaries,
women that have low testosterone should be addressed
right,
too.
right. I
Oh,
was going to
dude,
say,
yeah, it's crazy how common it is.
I think managing estradiol, like people's estrogen levels, is a bit more straightforward if like they spike up or if they have some side effects just with just like a higher test dose than it is if you have like three compounds in play. You know what I mean? Because then like say you have a nandrolone or like DEC or MPP, then it's like, all right, now you need some fucking caber if so would you recommend using barbells or machines? At my age now, after injuries and shit, definitely machines.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
just in
recommend using
general,
both, and I recommend
yeah,
using both. Hey, what's up, Louis?
Yeah.
that's a very general question.
Yeah.
A combination of both, ideally, but
Yeah.
I would use what fits you the best for that, whatever you're trying to hit.
What else you
What's
got, bud?
next?
And then we could do if you're on a tight budget and you're limited to, I guess we'll say two or three compounds for a prep.
You do three.
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 Yeah, so you're limited on a budget and you can only have three compounds for a contest prep. I don't know if you want to do one for men, one for women, or just stick to men. What would you do?
We could do both.
Yeah,
For men, test Trend Winstrol.
that's challenge.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, test Trent
No
Winstrol
Clen?
and
I'm thinking
well,
anabolics.
yeah, I was just thinking drugs. Yeah, I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay. I was thinking everything. Like the whole,
Everything that changes
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Makes it
changes
makes it
things.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it also
because
depends.
I've ever rarely used Clen. I've gotten shredded, so like I don't think Clen's
Oh
a
yeah.
complete necessity. Yeah, because of my anxiety. So like you can still get peeled without it. Like I guarantee you both would get shredded without Clen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I
I've
mean?
never
So
tried.
I did it once, dude, and my anxiety was too much. I'm like, it's just not. I can't deal with this for 3 months. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I wish
Yeah.
it had that effect on me. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Um,
um.
I was gonna think like if I had a client that I know I have to diet into the dirt, I would probably withdraw Winstrol for T3.
What I was gonna say.
I think overall the process of the prep would make the outcome a better physique rather than,
Yep.
having Winstrol in with a tired physique that we've just been dieting into the
So I
dirt.
was gonna say trend test
T3.
T3. You could interchange, like I said, the Winstrol or Masteron, but I think T3. I'm with Matt here would probably trump Winstrol for me.
And for women, it's tough. It really depends on what category we're talking about, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. Maybe for the safety of our viewers, we skip that one.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. What else you got?
That's all I had.
All right. want to kick us off, Matt? Or you want me to go?
Or one prep mistake athletes make that hinders their progress.
Not
One prep
listening.
mistake.
No,
They're
there's
not
not
listening.
listening. I think also too, not sleeping enough, not prioritizing sleep.
Big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one. Yeah. I
Um,
think people overlook that just in general. They don't take it into consideration as much as they should.
My one client
I
just
mean,
got a
I
CPAP.
could be better about it too. Sorry.
My one client just got a CPAP, and we haven't changed anything in his programming, and he is just like morphing. It's crazy. Bigger dude. He's like 250.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just what
nuts.
sleep does.
But
It's
that's
nuts.
just evidence right there. But listening to other what everybody else has to say. Like if you have a good coach, just don't just drown everything else out. Listen to your coach, please. You're gonna get in your head so bad.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's like,
That's very good.
And there's like dwelling in like of course there's gonna be times in prep where you're shot and like you're gonna have the best mindset. But like people love to dwell there and it's like, dude, why are we doing this? Like, if you don't
yeah,
love it, why are we doing it?
they get a free CPAP from the VA.
Yes, Louis, if you gotta go for it.
Yeah, fuck it,
Fuck
dude.
it.
Some of them things are expensive. Um, yeah, I was gonna add that in, dude. So like, everybody has an opinion, right? Well, most of the time, most people. So it's like, and it's not even like it might not even be someone directly that the individual knows. It could be, hey, my coach is telling me this, and then, hey, coach, I was listening to this interview that so and so did, or this podcast, or whatnot, or hey, I talked to this random person in the gym, and their coach has them doing this. Like, and then they start to get in their own head even more than at times a prep, does anyway, naturally. So, that's a good one. Not listening to more than just the coach's outline for the plan.
I think kind of along those lines, like comparing yourself to others on Instagram, maybe people doing the show, and just
Oh,
not
that's a
focusing
big
on
one.
yourself. You know?
Yeah, everybody looks like Mr. Olympia on Instagram.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Sure.
Everybody's got the goon lighting and the nice camera and the filter.
You ain't lying, dude.
So if you want to see somebody's real physique on Instagram, just look at their check-in pictures if they post them and aren't editing
Mhm.
them.
You
Which
are
you'd be
correct.
surprised how many people do actually edit their fucking
Absolutely
check-in
not one
pictures that they post. So you sending that to your coach? No, I don't think so.
of them. And not only do they have the goon lighting most of the time, but they have like 14 filters on top of the
Yeah.
lighting through Instagram.
Damn straight.
It's goon lighting on trend.
What's a good blood glucose number pre and post workout?
Well, I mean, it depends how much food you had prior as
Yeah, I
well.
think this person is looking for like an optimal range. I mean, given that the peri-workout nutrition is appropriate and we have a good amount of carbs pre and post workout and some level of fat that gonna slow down the digestion of those carbs while you're training, to keep your blood glucose level, and that you would have like a intra carb, like 20, 25 grams of intra carbs. I would, it's not like I'm out here having guys check it, but if I wanted a good range, like somewhere in the low hundreds, probably, of consistent glucose in the blood, which is going to be, made ready and available for energy, or it needs to be. So I think that's like a pretty solid place to be.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, in the morning, I mean, again, like a range, like you said, dude, 65 to 90, like, what I mean? It's such a broad range, it's going to obviously be so dependent on leanness and body fat levels, where food's at, or your off season prep, all that. But um, typically, not always, typically, obviously, like when someone's hunger starts going to shit and body fat's coming on easier, typically that's when you start to see those numbers kind of start creeping up and it's time to kind of reset. But, there's no like, I mean, if you're glucose is 75 and then somebody's is 86, doesn't mean any one's worse or better or worse. You're still optimal speaking, but um also depends how much fucking muscle you have. Like Matt with
Yeah,
his muscle.
I don't think this guy is a bodybuilder. I think he's more of like a lifestyle type
Gotcha.
person. And if that's the case and you're just like trying to get in shape, all I would say is don't worry so much about that.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the devil in the details there. Just see how you feel. Like if you're running out of gas while you're training, you probably need some more carbs pre and intra workout.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
But your blood glucose is gonna, if the overall concern is the blood glucose, just getting on a proper regimen is gonna help improve that over time. Don't worry about the
Yeah,
devil in the
with a
details.
big time too. A little cardio,
Oh yeah.
proper food, definitely.
When are you competing next? To all of us.
Yep.
what was that one?
When are you guys competing next?
Oh.
Steve?
Next year at some point, and then I'm gonna go for my pro card in 28.
Yeah, next year, probably summertime, Universe or what's the show after called?
Masters Nationals.
Masters Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I get it.
We're getting it
Hopefully.
next year.
You're gonna
We're
get it,
getting it
dude.
next year.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
I
gonna
think
get
that's
it.
the plan.
Oh, you'll get
Yeah.
it.
I'm competing in 8.5 weeks at Hurricane. Okay.
Yeah, 8.5 weeks. Wow, it's coming.
Coming
It's
up. Yeah.
going quick.
How many shows have you guys done? When was the last one?
5 years ago, and I don't know, 15, 16, something like that. Good bit.
Uh, last year, and I've done four. Right? We did three, Matt. Atlantic States twice,
Yeah.
and Universe. Yeah, and I did one
Yeah.
before, so four.
Yeah. I've done, I think, 18, and my last was New York Pro. Doubleheader
18.
for Universe. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely got to run it back to both. If it by somehow doesn't happen in Universe, we definitely got to hit Masters Nationals.
Your sound's going down.
Mine?
No, there it goes a
Yeah,
little better. You were
that's
fading.
better.
I was also speaking kind of like lowly, but no, I was saying we definitely gotta hit both next year if you don't snag it at
For sure.
Universe.
For sure. Feldman said too, like Masters Nationals was such a well ran show.
Yeah, he did
I
say
heard
that.
that
Yeah.
from a lot of people, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. How hard do you think it is to balance family life with bodybuilding life?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I think it's what you make it, right? Like,
I think it depends on what your career is,
well, that too,
honestly.
yeah, your job.
'Cause, like if you're commuting a lot and like or just whatever, it's kind of hard to find time to bodybuild. That was my biggest problem before I quit my job in January. Um, that was hard, but like now coaching full time and bodybuilding full time, it's a breeze. I mean, I make my own schedule. I could be with my family whenever I want.
I think, yeah, it depends on a lot of things. I mean, being in a relationship with somebody that competes helps out a lot. We do fairly easy. I mean, we support each other. Even Dylan, Janine's daughter, is starting to. She's going to run track and she's going for runs and asking about working out. So like she's slowly coming into the whole fitness thing. So for us, it's pretty easy, but I could see it being hard for a regular, like you said, someone commuting like a 9 to 5 job and then trying to go to the gym after work. And then, you're going to have to sacrifice something with family time to
Yeah,
really like compete at a decent level.
I agree.
So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think like what you guys said depends obviously on the job and like what the timing is of work and all that. Like, um, obviously too, when you go to the gym, do you have the ability to go in the morning? So when you're done work at 4 or 5 o'clock, you can go home and just have those few hours of
mhm.
family time and be there. Is it a night shift job? So obviously the career and the timing of the work plays a huge role. Um, but I also know a lot of good bodybuilders who do have two, three kids and do have that 8 to 4, 9 to 5 job and they're pros and they do it at a high clip and look fucking damn good. So, I just think
Possible.
it's very
Yeah,
possible. I
it's
just think it
possible, but
depends
that's all
also
you
too.
do. Like when you
Right.
balance a career and a family like that, and like a high level bodybuilding
That's
career,
all you do.
it's all you fucking do is
Yep.
bodybuild when you're not doing the other
Yep.
two things. I
Yep.
mean,
I
that's
mean, I
what I
watched you
did.
do it for years, dude.
Yeah, that's what I did up until I quit my job, and it was fucking hard. There were
Yeah.
definitely times where like my life is a checklist, and you're trying to find any bit of happiness because, like, while you're at the gym, you're getting fucking Teams messages from work and emails from work and clients texting you, sending you their check-ins, asking fucking stupid
What
questions.
time were
Like
you waking up to check in? Like when you were going for your pro card, you
3 a.m.
three,
you were checking
yeah,
in the 3:30, something like that.
Matt, when it was like, I think we were what, 2 weeks out, right, from junior Nats. I knew he woke up at 3, and my alarm was set for 3, and I would have to die to him by what, like 3:30.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is the only time I could train, like 4:30 in the morning.
I didn't
Like, cause
care,
I
bro.
remember. Yeah,
I was so fucking hyped up. My alarm would go off. I'm like out of bed. You think like I'm fucking getting on stage? I was like, I would have his pictures would be literally in the email box by like 3:05, like 3:10 a.m. And he would just have the day planned by like 3:20. And then I just went
yeah,
back to bed. But like that's what good coaching and
yeah,
a good client, that's what you do when you fucking want to do something and it's important to you. But then he would have after work all time for the kids and Sam and all that. So it's like,
mhm.
again, it's also time management. I think that is a huge component to being successful amongst multiple different things.
Now,
Yeah.
saying that, do you guys get clients that, oh, I had to get up for work at 5:30 and I couldn't check in, and
Yeah.
then that kind of thing?
Yeah, and I just tell them
Yeah.
like wake up 15 minutes earlier.
And you're up
That
at
is what
three
it is.
something a.m. It's
God
just
forbid you inconvenience someone gets inconvenienced. It's like the end of the
Right.
fucking world. It's like it's
Yeah,
not that
just
important to you.
yeah, just show me the
right.
respect of waking up 15 minutes earlier, like I'm your coach. Come on.
I think too what Louis said too. It's like up, I think a few comments too. Who you're with, if you do have a partner, a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, I couldn't have done all of it without Sim's help. I mean, she cooks all my food and everything, so
Yeah, I
she
mean, my
takes
last
care
firm,
of
I
the
couldn't have
house.
done it without Nina. I mean, it's just you gotta be with someone who's understanding, helpful, and at times honestly compassionate. Because like it's fucking hard. Like when you're in
Yeah.
shape, it's fucking it ain't easy, you know.
Yep.
So um, yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, let's see what I got. All right. Um, how do you decide if an exercise is actually being productive for somebody from a muscle building standpoint, or if they're just good at moving weight? What's up,
How
Kayla?
do we know? Hey, Kayla,
How do you
how do we
just
know?
it's this? So he asked, how do you decide whether an exercise is actually productive for muscle growth for somebody, or if they're just really good at moving weight? So, for example, like somebody could not have good developed quads but be fucking strong on a squat, and I would very simply answer this by saying, seeing form videos of how they're, pretty much executing the reps and the sets, and then also linking it with where the development of that body part is. Like if your quads suck and you're squatting 400 or 500 pounds, okay, maybe you need to slow it down and drop the weight, 30-40%, right? So or it's just, hey, you need a different movement, different angle. So
Yeah, it's less likely the actual movement; it's the execution of the movement.
It's how you're doing it, how you're
Yeah,
not feeling it, you're not
yeah,
executing it
like perfect
properly.
example. And I'll put him on blast because I don't care. Justin Armour, he like throws around these crazy dumbbell presses, but he's got a small chest. It's like he needs to relearn how to do a chest press.
yeah, I mean, I've been telling him that for 3 years, but
Yeah, but once you
why
get
would
used to
why
pushing 150-pound dumbbells, you get addicted to pushing
yeah
150-pound dumbbells, which I can't entirely hate on him for that because he is strong. But yeah, I think so. Like, I think that's just an example of someone where it's like you need to reevaluate how to do the movement. I had a couple of instances with my own training where I was forced to do that. When I tore my bicep, I had to like relearn how to train my bicep because I couldn't fucking feel it when I started training it. I
my
freaked.
quad, bro?
I
Oh
pinched a nerve
God.
in my neck a few years ago, and I couldn't. I had no strength like down my whole arm. It was my ulnar nerve and my where it is in my neck. Then I had to like relearn how to train everything on that side, and it benefited me so much because I was getting so much more out of my workouts,
Right.
and I was pushing 20% less weight.
Yeah, for sure. As I guess I was saying, but my quad, the same thing. I had to switch over to fucking single leg extensions and single leg press. And I always had great quads, but like I feel it more now. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
um it show your Nito.
This
Just
Ella
I
got this
know.
for
The thing
me
looks
for my
awesome. I need
desk.
one of them. Where the fuck can I
It's
get
a
one of them? It
like a
looks
we got
stress
great.
like
ball.
30 of them here in the
Yeah,
house.
stress
You
ball.
have that at home?
I got like Janine's daughter has like 30 of them. She
Yeah,
collects them.
Damn, what the fuck? Yeah, they are
They're
called
very popular.
Nidos. Holy shit.
Fucking guy's never seen a stress ball before.
No, I see a stress ball, not a fucking Nido.
Neato slash
they
squishy. That's what they're
have a
called. Squishies.
diet they
Yeah.
have a Diet Coke one.
They probably do. You probably find it.
Team Norman Nitos. Well, the text that was on here is gone after a day, so I don't think I want to put my logo on here.
Dylan shows Matt every
Yeah.
That's
She
cute.
gets really hyped.
They have a rubber. They have a fucking rubber block of cheese. What the fuck? And then a
Yeah.
piece of butter, a butter
And
stick.
some of them are like $25
Dude,
for that little thing.
this one's 40. It's a pumpkin.
Yeah, there you go.
Do they have X-rated ones? I might buy some of those. A pair of tips on my desk.
That'll be
Adult
your next
Neatos.
that'll be your next birthday gift, buddy.
You do.
Matt, did you see you see the sign I got, Matt?
Oh, you're on the Zoom? Hold on. No, I accidentally closed it out. You sharing your screen?
What happened?
What did you say? Are you sharing your screen?
No, no, they don't have X-rated ones. I was asking Matt if he saw the sign I got you.
Oh, yeah.
He
Wait, I
was
was
there.
there.
He was here.
Oh fuck, that's right.
You opened it up before I left. Yeah. It looks awesome. Did you put it up somewhere?
No, I still need to put it up. I haven't had fucking
Uh,
time, dude. I've been so busy.
it's got to go behind wherever you sit for this next
It's
time.
gonna go. It's gonna go where the horns
Yeah,
go. I'm
there you
gonna
go.
replace the
That'll be
horns.
good.
I'm actually
It's
gonna
gonna
put
be
the
there.
horns over here where the pro
Be
car
there
goes.
for his check-ins and whatnot. Dude, what
Yeah.
the fuck? There's like sensory fidget Nito, and it's like a little
This guy's
like
still going on about the Nitos.
yeah. Look at this one, dude. Hold on. Look at
I'm
this
gonna
one.
go to his house and he's gonna have like fucking 6 of them lying
A
around.
collection of them next time.
Yeah.
Hold on. Look at this shit. Yo, how do I fucking share my screen? Look at this shit, dude. How the fuck? How do? Where's the share the screen thing?
So on the bottom, it's the share. It's like a window with an arrow in it, arrow facing up on the bottom of the Zoom.
Let me see.
We scroll over our faces
Oh,
and
there it
move
is.
the hand.
There it is.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
look at this thing.
There we go.
Dude, what the fuck, bro? You see it? What the fuck is this thing? Yo, look at this one.
Sorry. Wow, these are crazy looking.
Yeah. Matt,
I like
I'm
these
getting
ones.
you this one.
No, no. Let me see that last one. I like the last one. Where was it? Yeah, this guy's got the top hat. I like that guy.
The top of this one?
Oh, it's a
No, no,
hamster.
no.
Okay.
Batman.
These are pretty
Oh
cool,
wow, they got a
actually.
six-pack. Don't play. I'll send this shit to your house. You'll have it by 10 p.m., buddy. Oh my god. Sam's gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, look what you've done, Kayla. Oh.
Yeah, fucking
All right, we're done with these Nitos.
So our next question.
I'm definitely buying one. How important is posing for a first-time competitor? How do you recommend them practice posing and learn posing if they can't afford a posing coach?
Well, I would
I kind of
say
did that for my
probably.
first show. I didn't have a coach.
What
Help me
how'd you
really.
do it?
So I watched. I mean, I wasn't good, so I probably should have had a coach. But I watched a lot of videos and just tried my best to like imitate certain people. And then just checking in, I would practice posing. I would get some feedback from my coach from the pictures, but nothing like a posing coach. But that helps me a little bit. I mean, I was able to learn just from watching some pros.
That's what I was
But
gonna
without a
say. Like,
coach, without someone there giving you pointers, I'm not really sure.
I would say, like, realistically, if you can't afford like a session or two, we're not talking about breaking the
Yeah,
bank
it's not.
here. It's like we're talking about for a really good posing coach, like $75 for a half hour, you know. So if you're that broke and can't afford it, like you probably
Yeah,
should not
should you
be
be
in prep.
competing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like what happens if your car breaks down? Like, are you gonna be able to buy your food or like get your gear or whatever? Like pay for the show registration? Like
Yeah, you should be able to get a couple of
gamble.
sessions in.
You can't gamble like that. Like have a little money, a little bit of money set aside before you start a prep.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, like Sam
And
said
and
too,
people in
she
the
is good. Good.
people in the gym are nice. Like if I'm in the gym and a kid is grabs me and asks me for like pointers on his posing. I'm going to take 5 minutes and
Of course.
help. I'm not going to put him through a whole session, but
I was
if
gonna
you're
say,
friendly enough in the gym, you could kind of get some
I
help.
mean, oh, for sure. And there's also, like Sam said, plenty of free advice at this point, like on
Yeah.
social media, like whether it's her page for like female bikini posing or like male posing. There's like male posing coaches who have like tutorials they put up of reels and shit. So, um, and then just practice, right? Like Matt said too, like you can get easily a session at like 16 weeks out and then get another one at like 4. If you can't afford 2 sessions, maybe you shouldn't be competing.
Yeah, Louis, go sell some managed services. You'll be okay.
You sell fucking Nitos, make some money.
I got a new job. It's kind of similar to what I was doing before I made the switch over to this. It works with partners,
Louis said, I'm
basically.
pulling a
So,
loan to compete, Matt.
yeah,
Also going to sell my
just
pets.
fine. It'll be just fine.
Yeah, he's funny as shit.
So funny.
All right. I like this one. So this person said, I typically get hungrier at night. Do you think that it's an appetite issue or just boredom? That's a fucking
I
stupid
think they
question.
answered the question for themselves.
Yeah, I think it's boredom. Tell you what, if you stay busy, and take your mind off the hunger, but I don't know if this individual is prepping or what the deal is, but
I can't remember a time where I've ever felt like, I don't know, psychosis because I'm so hungry, because that's what people get. They like go insane.
I do. It's great. Well,
Like,
I think also a lot of it's mental too, dude, because like this country relies so much on fucking food. Like all you watch TV and all the commercials are either pharmaceutical drugs or fucking food. You know what I mean? It's like those are like the top two commercials.
I
So
love both of those things, so I'm happy to be
yeah, I'm with
consuming the
you.
content.
I think
But
for first timers that are dieting or prepping, it's a shock to the system when they're hungry and they have to deal with it. But once you figure out a strategy, staying busy, I think is the best thing. Like for us, it's not a big deal, right? Like we just kind of
yeah,
deal with it.
or just
But
ask your doctor for Ozempic. So
oh
like
yeah, you could go there.
that's what like 11
That's what
out of
everybody's
10
doing
people.
now.
Yeah, that's what 11 out of 10 people do
Yeah.
now anyway. So, all right. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to ask here. What's the best way to bring up a lagging body part without creating recovery issues?
More steroids. No, seriously though, just make sure, going back to the execution question, make sure you're
Yeah.
executing your movements correctly. Work with your coach, or you got one of your buddies who's a seasoned person, like have train with him, see what his leg training is like, or whatever that body part is that sucks. Like, I think that's one that actually kind of goes out the wayside. I like to find people who have good body parts and ask to train with them on that day. I've always needed to have my back come up, and whenever I train with somebody with a big back, I usually learn something new. And even to this day, after 17, 18 years of lifting. But that and higher, put a little bit more extra frequency on there when the time is right, if you need it. And just make sure you're having refeeds and shit like that. Like something that I haven't done in a while that I used to do is do refeeds specifically on body part days that needed to come up. Um, yeah, that's just where my head went for that one.
Yeah, I think too, like allocating the volume appropriately, where like say your back is great. Maybe it's taking some of that back volume away because your chest needs to catch up and allocating that volume to your chest. So technically you're doing the same amount of volume that you already have figured out per your recovery, where it's in a good spot. But you're just obviously hitting the weaker part more frequently, but within that same volume load. So I think that's a good way as well. And then obviously just frequency in general. You know what I mean? Um, I think those are two of the best ways. And then obviously just continuing to obviously pay attention to your recovery. If you're 8 weeks out and then at 4 weeks out you're fucking sore for 2 more days, maybe it might be time to pull some back on some of that volume.
I agree with that sentiment with regards to prep and pulling volume, but recovery outside of that,
Yep.
I wouldn't worry about overtraining, especially if you're taking care.
Yeah. And the chances are that your overtraining is probably slim to none.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. How do you determine whether poor digestion is coming from the amount of food somebody's eating, if it's food selection or stress?
Couldn't you
Much
like if
learning
you think
over
it's food
time.
selection, pull whatever you think it is and see how you react
Yeah, it's
first, and then
process of elimination.
let's if it's stress,
Yeah, you learn over time who gets fucked up guts when they're stressed out.
yeah.
And usually, those people are pretty honest with you when their stress is high. It's pretty easy to identify, but you'll get a sense based off where you're at with the client. Like if you haven't changed anything in months, but you're in a growth phase and their stomach's starting to get fucked up, like okay, yeah, it's probably the food volume, but it could potentially be a food source, right? Like let's say we have a ton of chicken in their program or whatever, and their body just starts to say, hey, look, I'm not really enjoying processing this chicken that much anymore, and you start to have, you start the process of elimination, like you said, but it's going to be a lot easier to tell based off of where we're at in our programming with that athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if your food's sky high and your meal timing hasn't changed and the food selection hasn't changed, like you said, dude, it's probably just time for a little bit of a reset and time to bring that food down. If it's a new individual, like a new client, and within like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, they're like, hey, I'm having this issue where I'm bloating and such. Like, all right, break down for me what time you're having your meals. Oh, I'm having meal one at 6 a.m. and I'm having meal two at 8 a.m. and then I'm having meal three at 1 p.m. Okay, when is it happening? Oh, at 7. All right, you're having meal one and two too close together. You know what I mean? Let's spread this out every three or so. Okay, problem's fixed. You know what I mean? I was just, not allowing that meal prior to digest, And like Matt said, if we're having a bunch of chicken in or a bunch of something in and you're like having these gut issues directly after, say, a chicken meal. Hey, okay, we're gonna pull chicken for the next, 1 week minimum to give it just like a try. Switch to a white fish or shrimp or whatever, right? Or we're gonna switch to ground turkey. Oh shit, it's better. Okay, well, clearly it was the chicken or the egg whites or whatever it may be. So, like both you said, that process of elimination too can be huge, but figuring out what is causing it is a very big game of process of elimination. Yeah, what I would say for something like this. Um, should a coach change a client's training or their exercise selection if their strength is still progressing, but they're not noticing changes in the physique?
Not necessarily.
What
Here's
was
a
the
safe.
question? I'm sorry.
Um, when should a coach change a client's exercise selection even if their strength is still progressing on the movements?
If for whatever reason it's warranted, like maybe we're starting to get a little bit of imbalance, but like how often does that happen? Not very often. I think we had this question a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah,
something
I think
similar to this.
Yeah, I think somebody asked if like a couple weeks ago if the coach changes their training at like in the middle of prep or something, or they should or whatnot. Um, but I think like if somebody's strength is still progressing but their physique's not changing, it's like, all right, like where's your food at, right? Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
Matt, either or
Look,
you could attest, like I'm sure in prep you've hit some PRs on some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Body's just kind of cranking more optimally, the drugs, etc. So I think it just depends. Like, if you're 6 weeks out and you hit a PR in terms of like, oh, I got two more reps, or hey, my strength increased and I got 10 more pounds on like this chest press, last week, this week, and the following. It's like now I'm 4 weeks out. It's like, all right, you're clearly not going to be growing because your food's in a deficit, but the drugs could have also helped that PR. So, um, I think a lot of variables go into obviously the answer to this.
yeah, I would look elsewhere, not so much at the training.
Mm,
Um, I think if you're getting stronger and you're not injured, I leave it alone. There's no
yep.
reason, you
Yep.
know. I don't like to change trains, even for myself. I don't like to make a lot of changes, like split wise, exercise wise, unless there's really something
Yep.
going wrong, you know.
I think we talked about this last podcast, right? Like we're not into changing training up too frequent because
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like what benefit is there? There's more. there's more merit behind leaving training for a very good period of time and not changing it versus the opposite, where there's really any merit behind changing training every week or every month, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what like would you guys see a benefit to changing training every month? Like even one benefit? Like can
No,
you even
no,
pick
no,
one? That's what
no,
I mean.
no.
Like so like, there's really no benefit at all to that. So I
Unless
think
there's a client that like thrives on variety and follows more adherent to the plan if there's changes for
yeah,
whatever reason. But even that, I
but
wouldn't want to. I'd rather see
right, I was gonna
progress.
say, right? Like if
Yeah,
there's
they're not
somebody
going
that
to be
would
my client if that's what they need.
yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
I was gonna say, Matt, right? Like if they need their training changed every week or bi-weekly or every month, are they really even do they even know how to
Not really
train?
bodybuilding.
Yeah, are they really but do they even know how to like actually optimize their workouts? Like are they even going
You,
to the gym and
you
working
could
out more?
like change it by like
Yeah.
small little tiny changes, like have an A and a B split. There's changes there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still
Oh,
the same
that's a good
workouts
one,
over
Sam.
time.
But yeah, if someone's constantly traveling, obviously like different hotel gyms and shit. Of course, yeah, that
Right,
makes
right.
Well, that's
obviously. But
different.
like
Yeah.
how many people is that really, and if they have to go to different gyms, like Sam said, there's different exercise like equipment selections. Um but no, we're talking like if there's somebody just like that goes to Edge Fitness, like or LA Fitness, like every night and they're like once a week they think like they have to shock their muscles by like changing
Yeah.
their workouts every week. Like that's all bullshit. I don't think there's any truth behind that at all, is there?
Gonna shock the muscles.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, all right. My last question. When you guys are looking at a client's progress photos, which change to you matters more? Is it their body weight or their visible conditioning? And then in parentheses, it says, I am 8 weeks out right now from my first show.
The pictures, obviously, the look.
Yeah. The pictures are
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
looking at.
More
Yeah.
Yeah.
oftentimes than not, they're going to be pretty synonymous, right? They're going to move in the same direction. But as a whole, if we're looking like trending wise across the whole prep, but like, yeah, obviously the pictures every time.
Yeah. I would say, like, really, the the visuals are obviously of course the most important because you're not going to walk on stage and the judge be like, hey, at 8 weeks out, how much weight did you lose?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what you look like. However, on the flip side too, I'll play like the other side where especially when you're 8 weeks out, if we're refeeding, the scale can definitely become a extremely important tool for us, but completely separate from the visual, right? Where if like Matt just refed you 1,000 carbs, dude, and you only gained 0.8 of a pound, chances are high he's going to probably feed you that same day again, or not more food that second day. And then if you gain 3 pounds, okay, he filled up some, and then that typically will go hand in hand with the visual. And then say the next day you drop 6 pounds, like all right, that did what it did, and then like Matt said, that's going to go hand in hand and be like, all right, he's at a new low by 3 pounds. He's definitely looking tighter. So
Another time the scale is a super useful purpose is peak week because we have every variable so controlled
yep,
down to water and sodium amounts. When we have somebody that we're peaking and what we do is we have them give their morning and nighttime weight so we get a sense of how much they're flushing overnight. When you start to pull that water down, you have 2.2 pounds roughly per liter. If you have somebody drinking 8 liters, when you start to titrate that down,
yep,
you're gonna based off the data of how much they're flushing overnight, which I'm sure these guys will agree is pretty fucking consistent when you have somebody
oh yeah,
water loaded.
100%.
Um, you could basically estimate what your client is going to wake up at and have pretty good accuracy most of the time. And that's good to know, especially if you're bumping up against a weight cap, whether you're an amateur open bodybuilder or a classic physique competitor.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, peak that's a good one. Peak week, it's extremely important. I mean, dude, how many times, Matt, have we been like peaking somebody and like the day before the show, they're hitting new lows like after every meal?
Hmm.
You know what I
All
mean?
the
That's
time,
like when
yeah,
you
all
just,
the time.
yeah, that's when you know like this person's just ready to like go on stage. But it also that's when the scale is like so important. Now, but it's just a lifestyle individual, and they're like, my goal is to get healthier and lose 30 pounds. And obviously, I think all three of us can attest these are the same clients that usually will freak the fuck out if you make no changes and the scale goes up the next week at a pound. or two, and they're like, "Oh my God, dude, everything the same. I don't know what." It's like, just chill out. Like, could have been I could list you 20 different things it could have been. Like, your sleep went down from 8 hours last week to six. Your stress went from a two to a seven. It's probably this. Like, let's just take a breather. Let's wait another week and then see. So I think in that case, the scale is at most times just completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I think those lifestyle people need to focus less on the outcome that they want and more on getting good at the process to achieve the outcome.
Fuck yeah,
Like
habit
tell
building.
yourself like I'm gonna
Definitely.
be 100% on my plan today, and then say the same thing the
Hmm.
next day, and then a week goes by, you're like, all
100%.
right, I'm gonna go another week 100% on my plan. Like learn to
Absolutely.
live a healthy lifestyle and love that, and then you'll next thing you know, you lost 30 pounds.
Yeah. And then all the people taking Ozempic are gonna be like, "What the fuck you do?" Oh, I just learned how to eat enough and eat consistently and actually walk enough and go to the gym consistently. I just had this conversation with somebody like about a week ago where they were telling me they lost like 40 pounds from taking Ozempic, and I'm like, and they cut out soda, like normal soda, and I'm like, that's great. So when you come off Ozempic, what are you gonna do? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have no habits. Like when you come off Ozempic, the thing that was making you not, deep throat your whole fridge at 1 a.m. in the morning, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, because your hunger is gonna come back and you have no self-discipline built to tell yourself no. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, I didn't think about that. So like, build the habits, like Matt said, get into that routine. If you need something like that to help, okay, great. But like if you're not used to eating 4 or 5 meals a day and getting to the gym 3 or 4 times a week and just the basics, right? Walking enough, saying no to Netflix at 8 o'clock, and maybe just going outside for a fucking walk and some fresh air and getting enough steps in and eating your meals consistent and saying no to a fucking piece of pizza every week and cookies. It's do that first. You're gonna, like Matt said, and then before you know it, you're down 30 pounds. So that is
That's it, right?
all the questions that I had.
Nice. All right.
Thank you,
Good job,
everybody.
boys. See you
See you in a
guys.
couple weeks.